Hey, my name is Gaurav, and this is my channel, Engineer YouTuber. Now it is called Gaurav Chordia as my name, and this is my LinkedIn profile. You can follow me here. I create content on machine learning, data science, ML engineer, artificial intelligence engineer, AI engineer. So let's get started. It is a Wipro, the company which hired data scientist and AI engineer. This is a question bank which is usually asked question for this interview. The first question is why Python? Explain Python data structure. So there are list, uh, then we have a dictionary, then we have a string and matrix. So Python offers several built-in data structure. One is list. List is ordered, so it is 1 2 3 4, it is in order. Then it is mutable, means we can change that. Collection that allow duplicate element, so basically we can have a duplicate where 4 multiple time. Then dictionary is a key value pair. It is unordered or order as a new update. It is mutable, we can change that, we can replace that. And you can see the example is name colon John, age colon 24. So this is how it is given the dictionary. Then we have a string. String is a immutable sequence of character. For example, hello world. We cannot change that as it is a string. Then we have a matrix. Matrix can be represented using a nested list or a numpy array for efficient mathematical operation. So you should know. And this is a basic thing. They may ask you what is the difference between the dictionary and a list. So you should know. Now, second question. Give a data frame with a column employee ID. You have given a data frame with a column name called employee ID. Like you have a number of employees and their IDs are there 1, 2, 3, 4 till 100 or more than that. So you have department, their salary, and how do you find a second highest salary in each department, handling a case where there might be a duplicate salaries. So first thing first, you don't need to write a SQL query. This might be a SQL query question, but this is in Python. They specifically asked me to write in a Python code. So you import a library called pandas. Pandas is a library which is used mathematical manipulation. So we create a def as a function, and we get the second highest salary per department, and we provide our data frame. Now in that function we write a code. So the code is we are writing it out. Drop duplicate salary with the same department. We are dropping those. Then we sorting the salary in the descending order. Okay, and use a group by nth one and get the second element index. So how we do it, I'll explain that. So first we have an inbuilt function with the pandas library. Once we get the data frame, df dot sort values, and we provide a feature. So feature or the column name is called salary, and we provide ascending is equal to false. Default is it is ascending. Now we have written the false, that means it is going to be a descending order. We have sorted our salary in the descending order. Now what I have did, drop duplicate. We have dropping our duplicate, and we have given the subset name or the column name as a department and salary. Wherever we have a department and salary have a duplicate value, so there are some IT and they have 90,000 and 90,000. You can see here it is a sample data set. From here you can see that we have two IT and IT department and they have the same salary, so they are going to drop over there. And after that what we are using the group by. We are group by on department and salary nth one. That means we are getting the second highest salary. If we have given the nth 0, That means it is going to give me a first salary. Okay, so this is how you solve that. Once you provide that to the your function to the second highest per department, you will get it. Now we have solved our question. Now this is the third question: statistic and hypothesis testing. The question is, what is p value? So it is one of the important question. It might be asked you in a different interviews, but this is the statistic, very important question. What is a p-value? P-value is the probability of obtaining the test result at least as extreme as the observed result, assuming the null hypothesis is a true. A small p-value, typically less than or greater than 0.05, indicate a strong evidence against the null hypothesis, leading us to reject it. So you need to understand this is the just a definition. You should know what is null hypothesis and uh, what we have rejection of null hypothesis. So null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Now explain the hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing is a statistical method to make an inference about population parameters based on the sample data. Step 1 include state the null hypothesis H0 and alternative hypothesis H1. Choose a significant level of alpha, typically 0.05. Calculate the test statistic, determine the p-value, and make decision reject or fail to reject the H1. H0 means null hypothesis. So it may be reject or fail to reject. There are two type of condition which make the decision. And if you want to go into detail, you can watch my video on the statistic where I have mentioned what is null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, what is hypothesis testing, why we use it, and there are multiple types of hypothesis testing, what is p-value. So you will get it over there. I cannot explain all the things in this video. Okay, explain univariate, bivariate, and multivariate statistic. So univariate means analyze one variable at a time, mean temperature reading. So this is a single variable we are analyzing. Now bivariate means bi means two. Examine relation between two variable, correlation between the height and weight. Multivariate, analyze three or more variables simultaneously, multiple regressions with several predictors. Got it? Now here comes the machine learning concept. These are the questions which is mostly asked in the machine learning concepts on the machine learning topic. So which algorithm is most suitable for classification tasks? Now this is the one of the important question, because the interviewer or recruiter is trying to get you know more better in terms of machine learning uh, understanding, because he doesn't want to know which algorithm is best or suitable. He want to know how deep knowledge you have, what is the problem statement you have solved, and where you use the in your classification problem what model you have used. So he want to know that. So you can explain it very simply, like logistic regression is a specially designed for a classification task, while linear regression is for a continuous outcome. K-mean is for clustering, and PCA is for a dimensionality reduction. Logistic regression output class probability, making it ideal for classification. Now, there are n number of classification models, but why you use a logistic regression? It is for a simple data set. Your data set is very simple. You should be explaining the steps, why you have choose the logistic regression or a random forest or a XGBoost or a decision tree. Your reason should be justified over there with your problem. That is what he asking for. Now explain the assumption of linear regression, and this is a, you might see why this is very simple. You may think very simple question, but these are the question which is basically asked in interview of first round. not in the advance or the third, or because in the third round mostly a managerial round, or someone who has a better understanding on the concept as well as project, so they might ask you a hypothetical question. They are not going to ask you a technical question over there. So this is for first round of interview, and if you're able to crack it with these simple questions, you may crack it the full interview, first, second, and third. Now, what is the key assumption? So linear relationship between the independent and independent variable. So this is the linearity. Now, independence. Observation are independent of each other. Homoscedasticity, constant variable of residuals. Normality, residual are normally distributed. The your cost function or the error is uh, normally distributed. No multicollinearity, independent variable are not highly correlated. If there are variable which is correlated to each other, that means we cannot use the linear regression over there. This is one of the assumption, and if it is not fit in your assumption, you cannot apply that model. Okay. Now, next question is, what is overfitting and how do you prevent it? So overfitting occur when the model perform well on the training data but poorly on the new data or unseen data. So what is the prevention method? The cross validation method we can use, like regularization, L1 and L2 technique, lasso and ridge. We can apply the one penalty term to that variable or that data to regularize the data and build a model on it that overcome the overfitting. Now, reducing the model complexity. Maybe sometime what happen, we use the very advanced model like XGBoost or BGM or LGM. These are the very high advanced model, and that uh, learn everything from your data, and because of their complexity, that data is very simple. So we should use the logistic regression, linear regression. This is our simple model, we can use that. So that means pruning for decision tree. In decision tree, what happens, it grow fully, and to full grown tree we are consuming more GPU power, time, and complexity. And because of that fully grown data or fully grown decision tree, it is learning every single data from your data set, and because of that it is overfit. Now, early stopping early stopping or pruning is the same, just early stopping is used in neural network or different algorithm, but early stopping is nothing but stopping early, right? Gathering more training data will also overcome the overfitting. Now, next is explain cross validation. What is cross validation? Cross validation is a resampling technique, basic resampling technique. We are just shuffling our data, right, to evaluate machine learning model on limited data. The most common type is k-fold cross validation, where data is divided into a k subset. Okay, the model train on k minus 1 fold and validate on the remaining fold. Repeating k time, this provide a more robust estimate the model performance. Basically, the most common is k-fold cross validation, where data is validating into the k subset. K subset is nothing but the model train on the k minus fold, validate on the remaining fold. So and repeat the k times. So what happen if I say k is equal to 5, k minus 5 is equal to 4, so 4 it will divide our data. So for example, we have a data of 1000 row, it will divide into a 2500 and it build whole structure. Okay, it just dividing that data into 2500 and resampling that data and building a model on it. Okay, now next question is which matrix is used to evaluate the regression model. So common matrix include mean absolute error. Mean absolute error is nothing but an average absolute difference between the predicted and actual value. Average mean absolute error is nothing but the average. Average means 1 by half. If you trying to build a formula, we can build that, but I'm not here to give the exact formula, but you should have the one line statement over there. So average absolute difference between the predicted and actual value. Mean square error is nothing but the average square difference between the predicted and actual value. Root mean square error is nothing but the root mean square uh, square root mean of uh, mean square error. R square or R root is proportion of variance explained by the model. So variance means the model can be fluctuate from this distance to this distance. For example, it may be start from -1 to 1. This is the variance. We can go from this to this. That is the variance, we can say that. Okay. Now next thing is a feature engineering and data processing. This is very simple questions we can follow. Which of this is not the feature scaling method? Standardization, normalization, min max scaling, or the one hot encoding? So one hot encoding is not a feature scaling method. It is not a feature scaling method. It is a categorical embedding technique that convert categorical variable into a binary vector. The other are scaling method that transform numerical vector into some similar range. Standardization, normalization, and min max scaling. Okay. Now next question is explain a data cleaning and its importance. Data cleaning involve identifying and correcting the error, handling missing value, removing duplicate, and standardizing the format. It's crucial because improve model accuracy. Okay. Now ensure consistency across the data source, reduce bias in the analysis, enable proper feature engineering, and prevent error in the downstream process. These are the basic importance of that. Explain the different type of encoding technique. There is a label encoding, one-hot encoding, target encoding, binary encoding, and frequency encoding. They have a different type and different uses. So whenever the problem statements comes, you should know when and where to use. So label encoding assign a numerical value to the categories 101, 102. Then one hot encoding is creating a binary column from the category each category. Target encoding replace categories with target variable statistic. Binary encoding converts categorical into binary code. Replace categories with the frequency. Now next is NLP. If you are pursuing for NLP or if you are preparing for NLP, go deep down. This is a very basic question, I can say that. Neural language processing, natural language processing, not neural. Neural is a part of deep learning or how it behave like. So natural language processing is a field of AI that enable computer to understand, interpret, and generate human language. It combined manipulation, computational linguistic with machine learning to process the text and speech data. Applications include chatbot, semantic analysis, then machine translation and text summarization. Now next is NLP pipeline from scratch. So in NLP, if you think about it, it is a text pre processing. जो भी टेक्स्ट आ रहा है उसको हम प्रोसेस कर रहे हैं, लाइक टोकनाइजेशन इज नथिंग बट splitting the sentence into words basically. Now after that we are lower casing that if it is in uppercase capital, then removing the punctuation like is, the, and whatever we are just removing that. After that we have a text cleaning, so stop word removal or stemming or limitations. Basically we are just getting our word into the root word. And after that we have feature extraction. In feature extraction we have a TF IDF, term frequency, inverse document frequency. Then we have a word embedding, word to wake, and glow. These are the libraries we can import and we can use that for word embedding. Word embedding is nothing but we are just converting our word into the numerical format with uh, a vector which is meaningful to that word. Okay, model building, the training a classification or any R or a sequence model. Then evaluation, assessing using a matrix like accuracy or F1 score. Deployment, API integration and product for production use. Now we have a generative and LLM question, which is very similar to what is explain the RAG. RAG is nothing but a retrieval augmentation generation. So RAG combine the retrieval based generation based approach. It retrieve relevant document from knowledge based. Knowledge based is nothing but a cloud where we store our vector store. Now I used to use them to context of the LLM and generate the accurate grounded response. Basically our chat GPT or Gemini or Bart. This reduce hallucination and provide up to date information without retraining the model. Now, how do you fine tune your LLM model? So, fine tuning process is a preparing dataset from data to specific mass. Choose the basic base model. Select the pre-trained LLM like GPT, BART, which is already built on the transformer model. Now, set the hyperparameter, learning rate, batch size, epochs. Then the training is use techniques like LoRa and QLoRa. LoRa is nothing but the lower rank adoption or lower optimization, something like it. And this is QLoRa for efficient fine tuning. Evaluation, test on validation set. Deployment, host on the cloud like services like AWS, GPC, or any other Azure or anything. Explain LangChain. LangChain is a framework for developing an application powered by the language model. It provides a chain agent, memory, document loader, and retrieval. So it is basically providing everything to build a large language model. That is why it is a one of the uh, popular library. It is an open source library. You can just plug and play with this importing the basic library from it. So chain is sequence of call to LLM or other utility. Agent is LLM that make decision about actions. Then memory, maintain the conversation context. Document loader, integrate various data source like PDF, document, or anything we have. Then retrieve, fetch, retrieval information for a RAG. Now MLOps and deployment. These are the same. So explain MLOps and deployment using the cloud services. So basically MLOps is integrate ML uh, development with operation, ensuring continuous integration and deployment for the model key component. Now version control is nothing but a tracking the model version. Then CI/CD pipeline, automatic testing deployment, model monitoring, track the performance of drift. Drift means after some time the model is not giving the accuracy same as previously giving. That has been drift. There is changes in the accuracy and their other metrics. Cloud deployment like AWS, Azure, AWS SageMaker, Azure ML, GCP, Vertex AI. Containerization, Docker or Kubernetes for scalability. This is a DevOps part, but sometimes it is asked in interview, so you should be prepared that you should know don't know everything, but you should have to know how the pipeline is working. Okay, how do you deploy a model on the cloud services? So train and save the model, export the pickle file or on X or the save the model. Containerization, create a Docker image with the dependencies. Choose the cloud platform like AWS, Azure, GCP. Deploy, use services like SageMaker, Azure ML Studio. Create API, Flask API, Fast API for inference or endpoint. Monitor, set up a logging and performance tracking. Scale, configure auto scale based on the demand. Now project based question. So project based question is like whatever the project you have done. If you are a fresher, you should mention the POC project you have completed through your academic or the training. Or if you are an experienced person, you should know what problem statement you have solved. So start with the problem statement, then the solution you have provided, what are the tools and technology you have used, the language, the stacks, and what is your individual contribution to that project. And after that the benefit, because benefit means what you have achieved through that project or through solving that problem, because interviewer must know that because of you, you have your company able to solve $2 billion or something meaningful. That is what we are trying to do with ML. Otherwise there is no meaning in the data science if we building just model. So be prepared with this type of pipeline. Now a typical pipeline include problem statement, as I mentioned. I understand the business requirement because you don't know the domain. Maybe you are working with a different domain previously. Now you are in the medical domain or in the pharmaceutical or the life science or in the automobile. You should understand the requirement. After that, collecting a data, gathering a data from the various sources. It may be on the Snowflake, SQL Server, or any other services from the S3 bucket. You should know how to gather that data on a single stream or the single notepad, and after that trying to extract those features. So EDA is exploratory data analysis, pattern and distribution correlation, data pre-processing, cleaning, transformation, encoding feature engineering, creating a relevant feature, new feature, or getting an important feature out of it. Then model selection, comparing the multiple algorithm, because we have n number of algorithm we can use, but which one work best with our model or data, we should know. And for that we need to run the different model with different evaluations. Okay, then the training and validation, cross validation, hyperparameter tuning, because we cannot just train our model with a normal parameter. We need to add a hyperparameter that works better with our data. And then we use the evaluation, proper evaluation metric, deploy, API creation, containerization, model, track the model performance, and retain the as need. What is the challenge that did you face in your project, and how do you overcome? So when someone asks you about challenges, he want to know that, because every problem statement have the problem. If you don't have a problem, that means you have not solved that problem, because you don't know what's working. Sometime it is related to a data. You don't have a team of data engineering and you are fetching that data, and you don't know what, because you are not very trained on the SQL writing, query writing. But when you start doing that, you should know what is the problem, what are the challenges you face through building, getting a raw data, building that model, or deploying. There is a no tool, and how you upgraded from that tool locally to a cloud base or a Databricks or any tool you are using. So you should know what are the challenges you have went through. Framework using the STAR methodology. Situation, describe the project context. So this is the STAR methodology we should use. Then we have a task, explain the specific challenges like imbalance in the data, highly dimensionality. So you have around 200 feature and you want to extract very few from like 60. So you have a high dimensionality. Now you have reduced that. How do you reduce that? What are the technique, like PCA you have used, then T something, there is a test. What are the tests, what are the statistics you have used, and how do you come to the 60? You should mentioning that. Then the action, detail your solution, SWOT analysis for imbalancing, or the PCA for dimensionality. Result, quantify the improvement, increase the F1 score by 15%. So by doing that, how do you improve your model, and how do you build that model? You should be use this START methodology: situation, task, action, and result. Normal normal distribution probability normal distribution and probability. What is normal distribution? Normal distribution is probability distribution with the bell shaped curve. So it is, the curve is should like this is okay. And symmetric around the mean. It's characterized by mean, center of distribution, standard deviation, spread the data, 68% of data within the first deviation, 95% of data within the second deviation, and 99.7 percent of data in the third deviation. Many new natural phenomena follow that distribution: height, test score, and measure error. Now these last two questions will solve. I'll explain that Python versus what is text analysis, which is work better for the text analysis, Python or R. So it depend on the company to company. Some company use the R, some company use the Python. Python is easy to understand and write And sometimes and if you are not from the technical background, you don't know the Python, you still understand what is written in the code, but not with the R. Python is generally preferred for the text analytic because pandas library is efficient or data manipulation. NLTK spicy for compressive NLT tasks, faster performance for the large scale text processing, better production deployment of options, large community support on NLP. R excels statistic analysis and visualization. Now, behavioral question on HR, like why do you want to join the Wipro or any other company? So you should mention that Wipro have a leadership in digital transformation and AI opportunity, work with the diversity and global project, strong learning culture, and you should have the point you should explain. So these are the question which is asked in the interview in Wipro. So be prepared, and thank you for watching this video. This is a lengthy video of 30 minutes, but it will try to solve your 90% of problem to get from the first interview round. I have not included a coding questions here because coding questions need more time to solve that, and I cannot explain in one single video. So I have covered a basic and technical question which is asked in any interview, not only in the Wipro, but it is specific to Wipro because it multiple time asked in the Wipro data science and AI engineer questions. So you should prepare those questions. And if you need any help, comment down below, or you can follow me on LinkedIn as I mentioned. Uh, so I'll provide my ID over here. You can ask me any question related to this question bank or any question generally on the data science. And thank you for watching this video full till the end, and subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share with someone who need it. Thanks.